Hello, you beautiful, amazing people, and welcome back to another episode of Hitting the Bars. It is Keltie, virtually beside Savvy Wavy One. How are you doing on this stunning day?
I'm doing great. We've had a little bit of a storming week in Puerto Rico. So I'm looking out my office window and it's so dark and gray. I think what's really fun about living in a climate that's not like Washington, California, are these crazy storms that come in and it's like nighttime and it's like rumbly and scary and lightning and then they go away and they're beautiful.
Just like that. How long do you, when you say they just go away, is it like an hour thing or is it like an all day thing?
Usually the best part about being tropical is it's usually like an hourly thing, less than an hour.
Cool.
But lately we've been having like a bunch of storms where, it's 4:00 my time right now and they roll in and then they stay. Like last night I was like nervous that I was going to lose power because it was thunder and lightning and it was freaking Bentley out. And so it just depends on like the time of year and what causes the storm. I don't know why this year we're having a ton of storms though. It's very unlike us to have like a ton of rain at this moment. Because it's not rainy season.
You know what? It's sunny in Vancouver and it's storming there, so the world no longer makes sense.
I love it. You have spring.
I know. It actually is like Sweden's having a nice spring. Canada's having a nice spring. We're all sitting here like bracing for impact. We're like, do we put away the jackets? Is this a false salute? We're all scared. We're also like, this is a false. Like but there's like hope that it's spring. Like spring is here to stay. It's quite nice. But I'm not holding my breath. I don't trust it.
At least you'll take it with a day at a time.
Oh, I'm just soaking up the vitamin D. I'm like, I'm so healthy.
Yeah. I invented health.
Right. I'm like, my seasonal depression is leaving me. But shall we jump into our hot takes? Because I have one, and it's a business proposal. I'm going to shoot out to every single person out there.
Okay, go for it.
Take it. I want it. You'll make so much money. Lockers everywhere. Hear me out. Major cities, airports. How many times you're like walking around, you start grocery shopping, you're running errands, or you've gone through security, but you have your check in, you have your like carry-on and your backpack and your purse and all this. And it's like, I got an hour to kill and I kind of want to roam around. I'm like, what would happen if it was just like $2 an hour? You just put your bag in while you freely go. For us who don't have cars, so we can't just go put it in our cars. I'm like, why don't airports have just little places I can lock up my stuff, or downtown malls, lock up your stuff for a little bit, go roam around. I don't have like chronic back pain from carrying around the 3 bags because I don't have a car. I just think in downtown cities and airports, there should be lockers, and there's a business proposal.
I hate to break this to you, but this is a thing.
It hasn't made it to Canada. So either way, bring it
really?
up. I have seen lockers in some airports, but like, you know what I mean? It's not a frequent thing.
But okay, mine's not lockers, but I use this. It's I don't remember the site. Like you just Google it, but you can store your bags at certain companies. So when I was in Miami with my mom, we had time to kill before our flight, so we stored our backpacks and our suitcase at FedEx, and it was like $3.
Okay. I need to look into that because
look into it.
It's someone's missing a great opportunity. Either way, just imagine one wall, big lockers. You just boop boop boop. But I'm going to look into
the lockers would be cool because it is a little weird that it's just like sitting there at FedEx. I was like, are you going to ship off my bag? But, I couldn't be picky because I just didn't want to lug it around sweaty Miami.
I just think like there's vending machines that people own in airports. There you go. Boom. I feel you'd make so much money. Like the airports.
Totally.
Easy.
Totally.
So
absolutely.
What's your hot take for the week?
Okay. There are 2 types of girls, and I'm curious which one you are.
Okay.
One type, they're the girls that don't need anything for their lips via chapstick, moisturizer, lip stains, whatever, lip gloss, whatever floats your boat, okay? But then there's another type of girl that can't get enough of it, and she's addicted. And so she keeps chapsticks everywhere around her house. In her car, she's got 3. In her fanny packs, in all of her purses, no matter what, even if she's not using them, she keeps something for her lips there. I am one of those. I hate dry lips. Yes. And I don't know, it's been a couple years for me since I got that weird trigger. What type of girl are you?
I'm an in-between. Hear me out. And I feel like people are going to hate me for being this kind of girl, but it's what I am. I'm a sensitive skin girly. So many, and like the waxy ones don't work for me. So like so many lip chaps do not work for me. So many lipsticks don't work for me because I got dry, sensitive lips. So I can only buy, like when I find a product I love it. And I'll buy like 2 or 3. Like I'll have one in my purse, one at home and one at the office. And I don't lose them. Every blue moon I do, it crushes. But like I understand I used to be that, buy the cheap one, lose it. You have 3 there for them. I'm like, no, I'm buying this and I'm holding on to this baby. And it's like my safety water bottle. I'm like, we're going through life together until you're gone. And like, so I always have like one on me. And like, but I only really ever own 3, maybe 1 to 3 at a time, but they're locked and loaded, ready at all times. And I don't go anywhere without it. But I'm not like, I know that I wish I could be that girl who just kind of picked up one, had one there, but I'm like, no.
Wait, don't gatekeep. What is the brand?
Oh, okay. So I'll name a couple. There's a few ones to go through. Kosas Lip Chap, unbelievable. So good for sensitive skin girlies. I do use the Laneige at night. I just use it at night because it's like meant to be a mask. I used to use it all the time. And then I did get the Rhode Lip Peptide and it is worth it. It is so nice. But it's not like you can't get it at Sephora. It's a lot of money. Ole Henriksen or whatever that brand is just came out with like a peptide, like a dupe, and it's just as good. And then Tower 69 also has a peptide dupe. So I always use to have one peptide chapstick, which is the Kosas, and then a night lip mask at night. And
okay,
I'm not too picky, but those are like the 3. I usually have one locked and loaded with me until it runs out. But they're not cheap, so that's why I'm like, no. I'm only using it a few times a day. I'm savoring it, and I'm not losing this.
Totally.
So, what about you?
Do you see everybody uses Summer Fridays?
See, there's some ingredient in it, and I've considered buying it like 100 times, but I can't remember. There's one ingredient in it that I maybe it was avocado oil, but there's something that I know I react to in it. But I want to try it. I love even the packaging. I want to be a Summer Fridays girl. I do.
Classy and cute, and I just see it all over TikTok. But I've never tried it either. My favorite, I have the Laneige lip mask as well. I even gave one for my mom's birthday, and I put it on every single night. And then honestly, I am one of those that I'll like carry around. I have like the Glossier one that's like the lip balm, and I keep that at my desk, and I always use it. It's just like an oil. I like plain chapsticks, but lately I've been buying mineral sunscreen chapstick because I'm always outside and my lips burn. And it's definitely not like glamorous. It doesn't taste amazing, but my lips will drive me nuts if they're burned and they're peeling. So I keep that everywhere. I bought a bulk pack and I just keep them in all my bags when I go to the beach, when I go running, and I just pop it on no matter what. I swear, you put like anything on your lips, they'll be burned to the crust in Puerto Rico.
I'd be one of those. So I'm smothering sunscreen everywhere. So that's a good reminder for me who doesn't experience much sun most of the year. Sunscreen lip chap. Oh, there was one I used to buy. I forget what it is, but I need to look at my Sephora purchases in the history and find one.
You know what's weird? You've heard of Elta MD sunscreen, right? For your face? Yeah. So it's like quite universal. Everybody uses it. I used to be able to buy it on Amazon. It won't ship to me anymore. So Michael, he uses it. He's a very sensitive skin guy. And so he is really like picky with what product he uses. And he had really dry face from like all of the conferences and traveling. And he was like, hey, can you like try and find this brand for me again? I was like, yeah, I'll just reorder it on Amazon. Won't ship here. I'm like, hey, next time you go somewhere, you're going to have to find it. You should get out of Walgreens though. And I like searched in Puerto Rico at Walgreens. It's not there. And so where was he? He was like in Boston, went to a Walgreens, didn't have it. Went to a CVS, didn't have it. And so then he's in New York right now. And I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, I just went to Sephora. And he's like, they didn't have it. And he asked them, being like, where is this? And they're like, oh, sorry, we don't have this. So I said, next up, try Target. But like, did they have a lawsuit we don't know about? Like, what happened to them? They used to be, you could get them anywhere and everywhere. And now you can't find them. And I have this like moisture surge, and I tell him, I'm like, use my products. I don't care. But he's like scared it'll react to his skin. And the other day he comes up and he's like, do you mind if I just use like a little bit of your moisture surge? And I'm like, of course. But he's being so funny. He's like, I'm so sorry. I'm going to get into your stash. I'm like, you can get into my stash. We're married. I don't mind. But don't touch the tretinoin right next to it. But yeah. So I don't know. I just thought it was strange.
It's funny. I don't buy that product, so I could be completely oblivious. I know it's a cult favorite, but I've only ever seen it in like medi spas and stuff like that. So maybe like they're just trying to like separate in that sense. Like they took themselves out of Sephora and all that, and they're just trying to concentrate on like dermatologists, medi spas, that thing. Because that's the only place I ever see them anymore. But tell him, because I considered moving to that one, because once again, dry, sensitive skin girly, and like I know everyone loves Goop, but it's matted, and us dry girlies don't do matte. No. Drunk Elephant, it lasts forever, and I know I've piped it, but I feel it for us sensitive girlies, and I know he doesn't like he would like a mineral sunscreen, so it's zinc oxide. It's not the whatever the other one is. So you could look into that. It's a bit easier to get, and it's big and lasts like a year. So it's a bit expensive, but like
perfect.
For whatever reason, that thing is like, it's cheaper than the MD and it lasts forever. And it's good for sensitive dry girlies. So he might like it.
Good to know.
The only problem, I've said it before, it will white cast you. So it's also for us pale girlies.
Well, he's pale.
Yeah.
So that's
why I'm going to recommend it to him, because he's pasty like me.
Yeah. There was have you ever used Goop sunscreen? Face sunscreen?
Like, no, like the Super Goop, or like Goop, Gwyneth Paltrow Goop?
Gwyneth Paltrow sunscreen.
No, I've only ever used her dry brush. That's the only skincare product I've used of hers.
It is sorcery. It is like, my mother-in-law had it, as in like, it was amazing for your face. You put it on, it's clear, first off. Sorcery. Sunscreen's usually like this white thing, you know? So you're like, whoa, what? Clear, you put it on your face, it just absorbs as a moisturizer. And I was just like, I don't know, I was mind blown. I loved it, because like what annoys me is if I put sunscreen on, even over like maybe my blush, then it like mixes it all in, and like sometimes you leave white on your face. Goop sunscreen was not, and so I want to try and purchase that. I'm a big sunscreen girl here, because gotta be.
There we go. Also, one last one I'll plug. If you don't like the white, there's a tinted Drunk Elephant one, which is like the same product. It's just tinted.
I
so you
hate
don't like
tinted
the white
sunscreen though.
Okay, there we go.
Because then you gotta match your whole face with your body. Like, I've tried. I bought one that was tinted, and I was like, kills two birds with one stone, a foundation. And I was like, this is awful. And like, to be fair, I just think foundation doesn't look good on my skin. I have like a lot of freckles and moles, and like it just makes it look like I'm cakey. Yeah. So maybe we just don't have a good product. But that's one thing I've learned.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But one day I'm gonna have you try mine. I think you might.
Yes.
It's not really tinted. Like, it doesn't really change. Like, you can't replace foundation with it as much as it's not white. If that makes sense. So
okay.
One day you can use mine.
Perfect. Thank you. Can't wait to use it.
Yay. Now we talked about there are things we recommend. Now these things we might not. Oh, TikTok, the For You page. It's full of information and misinformation. So we thought it'd be fun to kind of go over some things that are on our For You page and just our thoughts. Do we approve, disapprove, or just some things you don't even have to approve or disapprove of? It's just kind of like, okay, here's the conversation about it. So the TikTok trends. Number 1. You're a water girly. I know you're picky about your water. Hydrogenated water. Thoughts?
Can you explain it for the viewers, the listeners?
It's just like a machine, I believe, and it just extra hydrogen in your water is my belief. I've looked into it. And I think all water has hydrogen, so I don't see the benefits. Yeah, so I'm like, it seems a little like, I think filtering water and re-adding minerals, that's a thing. You know what I mean? Certain places you need to filter water. There's some research out about it. It's nice to have electrolytes, adding some minerals, natural spring minerals. I'm all for that. But hydrogenating hydrogen 2O? Like,
yeah, no, I need to look this up. So this is a trend that's going on, and people are like, here's how I'm hydrogenating my water.
Exactly. And it's like, most of the time they're promoting it. It's like a water bottle that hydrogenates your water, or a filter system. And ironically, they got an Amazon link for it. And it just feels like
the irony.
the scheme of it, like, or
Yeah.
just like, if you have so much money, do it. But like, I think there's 1,000 other better uses of your money than making sure you have more hydrogen in your water.
Also, like like you said, there like for me, I
Yeah.
need a powerful water filter because our
Mhm.
water is we get water shut off constantly. So it
Yeah.
sits in rusty pipes and sometimes I'll turn it on and I'm not kidding you, it's brown. So like
Yeah.
if we didn't have our filter, I don't like we'd be drinking out of water bottles and
Mm.
that's just not good for the environment and also you're consuming plastic constantly. So I do where I filter it, reverse osmosis, and then I put in minerals. So
Right.
it's like, just people do your research maybe on that. But that sounds silly. But I
Mhm.
could see the marketing scheme on that.
Right. And then like,
Like
it's
it
one of
sounds
those things.
delicious.
Exactly. And there are all these benefits of like, it's going to absorb faster and all these kind of things. And I'm sitting there being like, it's literally not water if it doesn't have hydrogen. You're fine.
Yeah.
Like, in the scale of things to care about on water. First of all, like, yeah, do you need to filter water? Have you added some electrolytes and minerals in it? Like, you know what I mean, the scheme of importance, just it sounds like a commission grab to me.
Yeah. Silly gooses.
Number 2, gym etiquette. Now, up to like a couple years ago, I think the big thing was just like reaction content on TikTok, like people reacting to like people's form and all that kind of very bullying. And I think that we're kind of a little past that. It obviously still happens, but now there's a bit of like the gym etiquette of like Joey Swole is kind of the dad of it all. Like, I feel he's old OG fitness, and he comes in and almost like teaches people gym etiquette. Like, sometimes he's like, this person's wrong, this person's right. Uh, And then, sometimes calls out some content creators or whatever the case is. What are your thoughts on this like gym etiquette reaction content?
I think for me, rule of thumb for anybody that monetizes and claims some fame off of reacting to other people, to me, I just think it's not good karma because it's like, and I view it as a standpoint of like the bullying of just like, then that creator, whoever it was that said it,
Mhm.
is going to get a flood of hate comments. And so I think I'm more like empathetic of I do not believe in people getting famous off of using other people as clout to like I
Mhm.
don't like those accounts and I don't care to admit that because I've seen what it's done to some people and like also you can just see it as a viewer. So to me, I don't like it and I think the more like the better way to go about it, maybe like teach gym etiquette. I think that's great that he's doing that. I don't think that's bad at all.
Yeah.
But maybe don't shame other people doing it. Just like
Mhm.
stay in your lane if you're that good at it. You'll be successful without having to like hurt people and I don't know. Like what do you think? I just think
I
karma
think
wise, it's just not a good look.
it's so like depends on every single video. That's why like it's a hard thing to even say. Cause like my thing is I don't like the idea personally for anyone to do reaction content. Like, even sometimes I've reacted, we even react a bit. Right now we're reacting. Like, but the level of like, when does reaction become bullying? Like, when are we like laughing at the person? When is the person in on the joke? Like, there's some people who do it so well that like the person, like, you're happy the person who's reacting to. And like, so that's, I'm like, but do you really, I think it's a careful thing, even for young people who want to get into it. Like, oh, I'll just react. I'm like, then your whole life is going to be like shitting on people. I'm like,
Mhm.
that just
Just
like, it's a
doesn't bring
crap.
in good juju.
It just isn't a fun place to be. Like, hating on other people, you stir up. But then I do have to say the one thing, and this is what I've seen doing now. I'm like, oh, but then do we need people to do it? Because every once in a while you'll see, I think the classic example would be like some influencer is doing a workout content and someone walks across the screen and they get mad at the person. And it's like, no, 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 no. You're filming in a public place. They're going to walk in. Like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? You as the influencer can't get mad at someone at a public gym. And it's like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, sometimes do people's egos need to be brought down? I don't know. So you know what I mean? I was like, I think there's like a delicate dance, and I think some people nail it. And I think some people don't. And because they see the views and they're like, the meaner and the more I do, and like then it starts to become bullying. And then I think there's some people who like come in and are like, hey, reminder, you're, and it's a dance I don't necessarily want to do. Even I'm having trouble even doing it just now. Like, it's such
Yeah.
a weird
Maybe the
reality of the
way
world.
like you said, maybe it's all about at the end of the day it's about communication and like
Mhm.
how you would want to be treated as well.
Yeah.
Because I agree. I do find that crazy that people would get mad over that when it's a public gym,
It's
like you
crazy.
said.
Crazy.
But it's like that saying of like, let the trash take itself out, in a sense
Mhm.
of, obviously, if they're posting that online, there's going to be people already trolling them. It's impossible
Mhm.
not to have trolls. It's impossible not to have reaction content. It's like, that's going to happen, and that is what it is. But I think for me, like as a person, and like the responsibility of like, I personally would not want to make somebody feel that way. It would make me, it
Yeah.
would just feel like a dark cloud, or consuming that content. There was a while that I just stayed off of TikTok because like Fit Talk would come up, and it would just constantly be
Yeah.
hounding these girls in such a negative way. And it's just like, it's just cruel. Like I go online to escape sad world. I don't
Yeah.
want that, you know? But
Yeah.
I understand both aspects, and I honestly haven't seen much of his content, but I think I have seen a few where he's not mean at him. Like he's
Yeah.
not horrible. I just think, rule of thumb, like what you put into the universe will spit it right back at you. So
Mhm.
people that like watch it as well, like be aware of that. And that's like a rule of thumb in anything, of like what you consume becomes your mindset, becomes your life. And
Yeah.
I just like, if I ever see something that's kind of dark like that, I just immediately, I don't even want to watch it. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind, because then it's just unnecessary energy.
Definitely. I find like anytime I see content like that, I have to scroll and say like do not give, because otherwise, like even if you watch it, it's interesting, it's like drama. Then I start get recommending it more, and then like I'm scared to work out sometimes. Like everyone's watching me and they're gonna film this, and like I feel like we all get this like underlying anxiety of like working out and people filming, and how is this person going to react? And then suddenly there's like the memes of guys walking around gyms with their eyes because they're scared to like stare at a girl by accident. On the flip side, like girls are scared that guys are like being creepy towards them, and it's like created this weird environment. So like anytime I see it, I just have to like scroll so past it that my For You page doesn't feed it to me, and then I'm like, oh yeah, the world isn't TikTok. It's not this big like show that everyone's reacting to. I think we
Yeah.
need to just remember it's not that deep. I'm gonna
Yeah.
sneeze.
Also, rule of thumb, always, you're going to sneeze. Bless you.
Yep.
You should have done it in the mic, ASMR.
Right? Ooh. Blow an ear.
Yeah, right. But I think like rule of thumb with it is, or just be a bigger person at the end of the day, no matter
Yeah.
how you want to handle things. So if you consume it, you're playing into it. Like that's what I believe. So I mean, there's tons of people that will maybe annoy me at a gym. Like there's this one guy, and he's annoyed a lot of people. He's very cocky in our gym, and like our gym is all of our community. Everybody lives near each other. It's very open, friendly. It's great. He has done horrible things, says horrible things. And even today, I was just on the squat rack, and he makes me move so he can watch himself in the mirror doing a shoulder exercise when we have 8 other mirrors. It was so weird. And I just am like, it's fine. Yep, sure, no worries.
Yeah.
Don't even like, just be the bigger person at the end of the day.
Yeah. True.
But yeah, man, that guy. I texted Michael being like, oh, you'll never believe it. Like, but
every
at the end
once
of the
in a
day,
while,
you just have to go with it and say, sure, dude, no worries. But you're like, that's so weird. Like, come on, I'm trying to work out too.
I will always be like, oh, I'll just go over here. But every once in a while, I'm like, could Joey Swole walk? Every once in a while that happens. I'm like, can this guy just tell this guy to, you know what I mean? Sometimes I wish some people just learned a lesson.
Or even the trainers, just be like, bro, come on. That's kind of strange. You're making her a little uncomfortable. Like it was just, another time I was on the Smith machine, and I had just gotten there, and he was like, how much longer? And I was like, oh, honestly, I just got here. So probably 20 minutes. And he was like, well, I need it. And I was like, well, I need it. That's what he said to me. I was like, but I need it too. And I got here before you, finders keepers. And he was like, well, I need to work out. And it's just sometimes I'm like, gosh. So that's my little confession session, this troll of a man.
Yeah.
And I don't know who he is, but I just avoid. But it's so funny because I've had multiple people have like being like, this one man at the gym has made me move to do this, or he brings his dog, which is fine, but the dog runs loose. It's just so strange.
That's why I'm like, I never believe in bullying. I believe in bringing up energy. But every once in a while, I'm like, that man needs to be bullied.
Yeah, every once in a while, I'm like, get him.
See, that's
get him, TikTok. Get him.
I'm like, let's all be good. Let's all bring each other up. And every once in a while, get him. And there's what I'm saying. I'm like, Joey Swolt, get him. There's the example. Get him.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm sure the guy's really nice. It just seems he's like a big gym bro, you can tell. And I'm sure he just thinks like, this is my turf. Yeah. And I'm this little girl that he's like, I can bully you around. And I'm like, honestly, you can, because I just say fine. But I did stand the ground on the Smith machine. And I was like, I had a guy friend and I texted him being like, can you come back me up? Like, I feel really uncomfortable. Because I was like, I can't move. Like, I'm not going to move. And we can't share this because you're going to be lifting like 10 more plates than me. Yep. So it just was like, just let me, like, I'm sorry, I beat you. Fair and square, I beat you to it. Next time, run faster.
Yep. Lesson learned. Man needs to learn a few lessons. Now, here's a lesson that some people are going to learn the hard way because they saw it on their For You page. Colon cleanses. Why are those? That's the pipeline. You just start with a little lemon water. Then you get a probiotic. You start drinking some celery juice. And before you know it, the pipeline leads you to colon cleanse. Thoughts?
No pun intended on the pipeline. That's pretty good.
Right.
I honestly haven't seen the colon cleanses.
Good.
But so you do? What kind of content?
It's not like a common thing. I know, right? You're like, your For You page, Keltie. It's more of just like when I see the whole wellness things, and every once in a while, you get recommended a weird one. So it's not a constant, but every once in a while you'll hear that. And I look, and it's more of like less the frequency and the more of, I'll see one or two, and I see that one or two has 1 to 5 million views. So I'm like, a lot of people have seen this. And I just think there's a lot of other things you got to worry about in your journey before you go to colon cleanse. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, if it works for you, I could think of 100 other things I'm going to change before I test that, go see some professionals, go get a lot more tested than colon cleanse.
Totally. I think the slippery slope on TikTok is it's like they've made it so easy to go down rabbit holes because if you click on a video and then below it will recommend something that people have been looking for, like colon cleanse. So maybe you're like, apple cider vinegar, my stomach hurts. And then you like click on that video and then it'll recommend. And honestly, it's like quite dangerous probably for people's mental health too, because it'll like it'll say these horrible things. Even that girl we love that we saw at that one event, Anna Starr. Yeah. She pops up on my thing. And I'm like, oh, cute girl. Whatever it was. Below recommended was Anna and Brew break up. And I was like, what? She's like dating some guy. I'm like, oh, that's sad. I didn't click on it. I was just like, that's sad. Yeah. I go to her profile just in general to watch her stuff because I like haven't seen it in years. Honestly, she just hasn't popped up in a while. And she made a comment on it being like, why does TikTok do this? That it's like this most, research thing. So even if you test it, you could put in just random, I don't know, like coffee, and there'll be like something random pop up or some random celebrity. And it's always these negative things. It's so strange.
Yeah. And what's a thing the wellness industry kind of hijacks of people? There's this like cleanliness we all feel we have to have. We have this pure, clean, functioning body, everything's smooth and going this. And like once we start talking about the colon, we're like dirty, filthy. So the thought, like I feel people can be so easily persuaded of like, you need to cleanse it. There's all this stuff in you, like cleanse, get it out. And I think like there's this like hyperfixation sometimes of like you said, that's the pipeline. And eventually you're like cleansing everything. And I'm like, your body's a pretty well-oiled machine. Obviously you can get sick and things can happen. And that's why I was like, speak to a medical professional, but also like things sound too good to be true. So keep your spidey senses on, and like people promoting like cleanse this and this has to be working. I'm like, just anytime you hear the word cleanse, really look into it because your body naturally cleanses itself. That's why we literally go to the bathroom. That your body is cleansing, is doing a colon cleanse every day when you go to the bathroom. That is literally what it's doing. It's getting things out of your system. And like, so, you know what I mean? Your detox, your liver, your kidneys. We have a whole functioning system and do the healthy things so that system works. Boom, colon cleanse. But just being conscious of it, it usually sounds too good to be true. Speaking of sounds too good to be true, next two, I'm going to batch them together. Rage baiting and overconsumption. Now I see two things, whether it be someone has like a coffee cup that's like 8 liters big and they're dumping in 1,000 ingredients, or they're spilling it, or it's like some mom feeding the kid 10 bags of candy, which you know she doesn't actually, but it looks really, it's going to grab people's attention. It's the thumbnail of TikTok. Or someone buying 1,000 Stanley Cups, or they have a wall full of 10 Drunk Elephant moisturizers. You know what I mean? Just the overconsumption, rage baiting, all that kind of stuff on TikTok. What are your thoughts as I see?
Bless you.
Allergies.
Yeah, springtime allergies. You know what? I find it kind of entertaining. Like, I understand it, where you're like, wow, there's that many flavors or that many, like, I think what I see is candy salad, and people will bring bags and bags of candy and make this big bowl, this big candy salad. And in my head, I'm just thinking the whole time, that's going to go stale. They're going to mix. It's going to melt. It's going to be disgusting in a day. And then you have a big bowl of candy salad that you're going to toss. So to me, I'm like, it just seems unnecessary, but I can see the entertainment of it. What do you think?
See, I think a lot of times it's just the classic pipeline. Someone, you know, does a little extra, they spill something, then they realize like, oh, someone viewed that because they spilled, so I'm going to spill more. And I think it's just the pipeline of this viral to do more and more. And I think you always have to be careful, anyone, because everyone posts online now. Like, you're going viral. Like, is that really what you want? Do you just want to make bigger spills? Do you just want to buy more product that you're never going to use? Like, I think we all just kind of have to be mindful. And when you see it, just realize those people probably don't live like that. It's just for the sad reality that they know people will comment, people be angry, so they'll get more engagement. People get addicted to the views. They stop doing it. The views drop. But I will say, I will defend one thing. Big fan of candy salad. Big fan. So if you go to Sweden, that's how they do candy. They do the bulk candy. It's all the different flavors in one. And it doesn't go stale because it goes in my stomach and it's eaten fast enough. But
Where do you buy it?
Sweden, like, have I talked about Swedish candy stores?
No.
Oh my God, I'm going to bring you some.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't believe it. Megs was like, yeah, no, our candy's so much better. I'm like, no. I'm above America. America does candy. I was like, there's no way. No way. North America's where it's at. Consumerism, sugar. It's what we're known for over here. I was wrong. Blatantly wrong. So they have this tradition called like Saturday candy. Now you can buy candy any day of the week, but it's like every Saturday, most kids, adults go into a candy store and it's just walls and walls of bulk candy. So just think like of drawers of all these candies. You get a big bag and you just take a scoop and you scoop whatever you want into this big bag and you weigh it. And whatever the weight is of this mixed bags of 100 different kinds of candies, you buy that and you take it home. But their candy is so good. And it's so fun. Instead of just having like a big bag of Skittles, you have a chocolate, then you have a gummy, then you have a sour, and you have a little chocolate covered almond, and they have a licorice, and then a sour, and then a caramel, and then back to chocolate, and like it does not get stale because at the rate I eat it, and so does Megs. And I there's a whole conversation about, you know, athletes eating it and all that. I was like, I'm pro athletes eating candy and pro everyone eting candy, but I just know
there's a conversation between that.
I saw that on YouTube of like, and it was like, it was interesting. It was like someone mentioning like how like athletes can get away with eating a big thing of candy, but if it's a, you know, a bigger bodied individual suddenly doing the different conversation between the two. So I was like, oh, that's a interesting conversation to think of, like who can get away with, like, I hate to say it, if I was going to go on a run and have a big thing of candy, everyone's just gonna be like, wow, you eat so much candy. But then like the mean comments TikTok would give if like a bigger body person was going for a run and had all this candy and then suddenly, you know what I mean? So that's once again rage baiting, and then some people even play into that or like the unfairness of it all. But that's just TikTok.
Yeah. You know what I did? I saw a rage drink, I think, is that the correct term, yesterday on Reels. And it was this girl was like, make iced coffee with me. And her coffee thing was like as tall as she was. And I indeed watched it twice.
That's like the exact one. That's the one I've probably seen too on TikTok. Cause you're like, wait, what? Is that an 8-liter gallon? And then suddenly she pours in all the ice and then all the whipped cream, a whole thing of syrup. And you're just like, mesmer. And I'm like, what's the line? Because I hate to say it, it is goddamn satisfying to watch.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, there's no way you're drinking it, so you're throwing it out. So there's this like weird dichotomy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love watching it. I'm glad you made it. But at the same time, that's a waste. We're in a recession.
Yeah,
Like,
it's kind
you know
of
what
like
I mean?
I love Kaylee May. I think that's her name. Her content. She's
Mm,
from Seattle, but
okay.
it's like restock my snack box with me at my bedside. I'm like, I'd
Yeah.
never have a snack box at my bedside. That sounds great, and I'll watch it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I know I shouldn't keep watching these, but I'm so mesmerized by it
Yeah.
and what she chooses to put on it and sounds. It's like, have you ever been on TikTok and you swipe down and like all of a sudden you're on some random live and it's an ASMR girl and
Oh, yes, many
she's like,
times.
shh, and I'm like, I can't look away. I'm
I
like,
know.
and one time someone was like, "Hello, Savannah," and I was like, like she saw me on the live, and I was like,
Oh,
I
that's
just
why I'm
go
like, how
away.
does she know?
Yeah,
That's
but
a
it's
great
like I
name.
couldn't look away. And I'm like, this is so fascinating.
Yeah. That's what I was like, and that's why it works. And then people are angry that it's working, but then we all get trapped in. And it's just this like
Mm-hmm.
weird, like that's what I was even saying, this whether it be candy salad or it's a big coffee, like we're all just like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's just, our generation and this is our weird form of entertainment, but
This is life. This is life now for us.
this is just the reality. We like watching an excessive amount of candies and iced coffee being made and going, wait, why am I trapped? Why can't I look away? We all do it.
Yeah,
We all do it.
exactly. Exactly.
Speaking of saying we don't all do, I just learned this fact. MLMs, another thing to be careful of on TikTok. I didn't realize, do you realize TikTok, the MLMs are banned? Like you can't promote an MLM, unlike Instagram.
I did not
So,
know that. How do they
that's
know that
nice.
they're promoting it?
So that's why I'm like, you just got to be a little smart. Sometimes this girl's selling a business course. She's talking about this skincare that's unbelievable, but you have to comment and she has to DM it to you. She can't tell you. Now, I'm not saying every time someone does that, sometimes that's just an algorithm play, but I'm just saying if someone's being a little too mysterious, they're not in their bio. It's always like, go to this link or I'll send you a DM or sign. Just be careful. It's probably an MLM because they're banned on TikTok, unlike Instagram. Instagram is kind of in your face, like, oh, Herbalife in the bio.
Yeah,
I've seen that before.
definitely. I have noticed on Instagram though, people are doing those comment this to for me to send X, Y, and Z. I feel like I'm
Yes.
seeing everybody do it. And I'm like,
Same.
what are you sending them? I'm like, I'm so curious. Maybe
I
I need to
know.
comment. I'm like, it'll range from like even Devin, I saw his content and he's like,
Yeah.
this is how I shave when I'm climbing Mount Everest. And he's like,
Yeah.
comment stylish and I'll send you my links. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but that sounds like a lot of work. I'm like,
I
what is this
know.
doing? Is this an algorithm thing? I've got so many questions. So if people know, let me know.
I'm 90% sure I've never tested, I've never actually asked on it. I think it's just a way to get more comments. And then
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? When people are like, click a link in my bio, people aren't going to. They gotta go through
Yeah,
effort,
it's
go
not
through
that
bio,
exciting.
but if someone you looked up to someone and they sent you an actual link, like I think a lot of people be like, whoa, they opened my DM. Like I feel people feel a lot more close. So I think it's a
Yeah, I could see that.
sales algorithm. I was like, can't hate it. Seems like a lot of effort. So people ask for it. That's also nice. It's like permission.
Totally.
Like, oh no, I clearly want it. Send it to me. So
Totally. Yeah, I'm
can't be
not
mad.
against it. I don't think it's bad. I'm just
Yeah.
like, lately I've seen everybody commenting it and I'm like, or it's like recipes. I'm like, how are they sending these recipes?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I just got questions for these people.
And that's the level of lazy I am. I see it. I'm like, that would be a good recipe. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna
Save it
DM you.
and hope.
Bye.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
amount of
exactly.
like recipes I save that I do not execute is comical.
That's being an adult. I have 800,000 saved recipes. Or me and Meg sending back and forth. We're gonna make this. We're gonna make this. Nope. And the worst is
Never.
because you start doing that, the For You page knows even more. So it sends you more of
Yes.
those recipes. So you save more. And it's a vicious cycle that never ends. And I never make the pizza. I never
Yeah.
make it.
The minute there's more than
me.
3 ingredients, I'm tapped out.
No,
I'll just send them my way in case one day I magically change like my thoughts. But there was this one that was like dates. It looked so good. It was dates with peanut butter and chocolate and sea salt. And I sent it to one of my friends and I just knew I wouldn't do it. But I thought maybe she'll do it. So when I go over to her house, she'll give me all these homemade treats. So I was like, hey, this looks good. Hey.
Okay,
Make
so I'm now sending every recipe to my friend Ashley, who's a cooker, a baker. I'm like, oh, you
And maybe they'll
reached.
appreciate it.
That's her love language, making food. So I'm just expanding it.
Yeah.
And
The ones, you guys, I post recipes. These ones are freaking easy because I will not make them hard. So it's like all ingredients I'll already have in my fridge. Or like I just had a protein smoothie bowl before this.
yeah,
And like made myself a little acai. And like all I did, mango, protein powder, coconut milk, blend, done. Like
I like it.
easy. Then
I
put some
like it.
banana, like simple. If you you make it complicated with chicken shawarma and I have 5-10 different ingredients, I'm out. As much as I'd love to eat it, I'm out.
No, too much effort. In my mind, I have the time to do that. In reality, I'm going to Safeway and getting a rotisserie chicken and a loaf of bread.
Oh, Keltie, we are the same person. I literally buy the sourdough and then I buy rotisserie on repeat. Like Michael's like, please, babe, stop buying the bag salads too. And I'm like, they're just so easy. I'm like, they're so yummy. And he's like, I'm so tired of eating the same thing. I'm like, oh. So when he was gone this week, I went to the store, bought myself some lettuce, sweet potato, got myself a new dressing, and
Nice.
I bought a protein for me to like throw in, and I was like, done.
Perfect.
Meal
Done.
for the entire week, mic drop.
Yep. Loaf of bread, rotisserie chicken, mayo, some lettuce to go in. Boom. Might buy some French fries, and then we call it a meal.
It's called being a wife. You know, people are like so domesticated in there. They love to cook. I can never like get behind someone that's like, I love to cook. I envy that. I'm like, I wish I loved to cook. And my dad, he said he didn't love to, and COVID hit, and he was like, I have nothing to do. So now he loves to cook, and he's like my hope, my one hope that I will one day, because I fear when we have children, I don't know what I'm going to feed them. I like rotisserie chicken. I don't know. Like mac and cheese. I have no idea.
I will say, some days when I'm over with Megs, I've had an easy day, just being in the kitchen together cooking, it's a vibe. I love that. But most days I'm tired. And you're telling me I'm going to add kids and then I got to add cooking? Seems suspicious.
Yeah. Have you ever like hosted for 4 people or like 3 people, right? It's like an average household family. And you're like slaving away. So much food, so much cleanup. Every time I do it, I'm like, I can't imagine having 2 kids and having to feed for them and pick up after them. It blows me away.
I know. Mothers, just a little slow clap. Clap, 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 clap.
Slow
To your mothers
clap.
listening, clap. You do 2 jobs. And don't forget that. And it's Mother's Day coming up, or it just passed. I can't remember. You deserve to be treated very well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Another one have you seen of these crazy TikTok trends? Eating an excessive amount of carrots. So you get I think it's a beta-alanine in it. So you get a slight tan. Because yes, if you eat a lot of it, or is it the carotenoid? I think maybe the carotenoid. I can't remember. One of the ingredients in carrots and sweet potatoes. If you eat a lot of it, you will turn slightly orange. What are your thoughts?
You know, I already hate carrots. I have to douse them in ranch to eat them. So like it would not be for me, but it's fascinating. But I'm curious, has anybody ever heard of this? So one of my friends is a naturopath doctor, and we've seen her before. She's helped us with just, we'll come to her being like a brain fog, whatever it may be. She'll like recommend certain supplements, peptides. One of the very first peptides I ever saw her with, and like she specializes in peptides, she was really tan. And I was like, oh my gosh, Amber, you are so tan. She's like really pale, fair skin, blonde hair. She's like, yeah, I use peptide. So she would inject herself once a week and it would make her skin tan. Yes. But what's like nice about it is you won't get melanoma because you're not exposed to the sun. So she was tan without the chance of it. It's like my understanding. Have you heard of this?
So I haven't heard of someone using peptide, but that's a thing that was really big like a decade ago or so, of this like injectable, I think melanin or something you inject. And like you said, it makes you tan. I've done my friends do it. But here's my question. We're doing that to avoid skin cancer, melanoma. Great. Not be it on the skin. But at what point is injecting a chemical also increasing your chances of, you know what I mean? That's
True.
like the one, I was like, I love it as someone who hates, like I just put on self-tan last night. It was, I hate it. Sleeping in the goo. I hate it. I just want to be naturally tanned and I'm pale, but I also don't want to get skin cancer. So it's that catch-22. So that sounds great. But something about that to me, with no medical research I've done on it yet, doesn't seem too good either. I don't know though. I don't know. I
Fair.
don't know the research, but it seems
I
suspicious.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, maybe it was a natural peptide. I couldn't tell you, but I
I
just
don't
thought,
know.
what an interesting thing.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts overall more of the story of the carrots instead?
First, it does happen. So that is definitely like a medically proven thing. So if you eat enough of that substance, and it could also be like sweet potatoes. There's couple others in that family. Um, how has it not happened to me? I eat so much carrots. Carrots are my go-to vegetable. I think I've eaten a carrot minimum one every day for like the last 20 years. Like I eat a lot of carrots. I love baking them,
Yeah,
frying
you
them, throwing them salads.
too.
I love a carrot. I used to eat in college. That would be the only vegetable I'd buy. I'd buy a big bag of carrots and I would just eat a big bag of carrots every day. It was like my only vegetable I ate. And
I remember when we
I,
were in Texas and we would get
yeah,
snacks for ourselves, you would get these like little carrot. You
yeah,
actually bought a whole bag of carrots, I think. And in my head, I was
yeah.
like, ew,
I
what?
love it. That's always
That's
just my little snack.
wild.
A little chip,
Yeah,
a little carrot.
I envy
I love
that.
a
That's
carrot.
good for you.
I love
Yeah, good for you.
it's got the best crunch and it's a little
Mm.
sweet. I love a carrot hummus. Just walking by the fridge, what do what? Ooh, carrot. I love them. And I'm still pale. So I think you have to eat a hell of a lot of carrots to make that happen. And at that point, what point is it toxic? Because anything is toxic. Water's toxic to a point. So at what point is that your body just being like, hey, you're dying here? So I think it sounds good and sounds natural, but like I said, water can also kill you. So is that playing with fire? I don't know.
What's the
Is
turnaround time on the carrots to make you orange?
I think the girl was eating like, like 10 massive ones a day, like those big guys.
For
Like, I
how
think it
long
actually,
though?
I think it's a couple weeks, maybe
Oh,
like,
because I was saying you should do a YouTube video. I ate this many carrots, and this is how tan I got.
should I test
Keltie,
it? See how
yeah,
many? I might
I
as
think you
well.
should. And like make
I
a mash, make it like a fun one. Like you love
Ooh,
carrots. That's a rare thing to love.
wow, that's a thing to make me hate carrots real fast, though. I'm like,
That's that's fair. Never mind.
yeah,
But it
that might
imagine
ruin
I would
carrots.
watch that YouTube video.
You know what I just realized? Okay, hear me out. Breakfast, carrot cake, pancakes. Lunch, carrot salad. Dinner, roasted carrots. Dessert, carrot cake. That sounds, obviously I'd eat more than that, but like that sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm
you may
kind of about
transform
that.
into a bunny rabbit.
I mean, I practically am. So I was like, I I'm I'm thinking. Maybe.
You're welcome. I just gave you your
Pending.
next idea. I
There
expect
we
a
go.
revenue share, so thank
It's
you.
it's giving 2016 YouTube. I only ate orange food for a day. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
it's
But like I want you
2016
to take
YouTube.
this serious. Like I want you to
Mm.
become orange.
Okay, I might die, but it's worth it for the views.
You know, you could just fool me and just get an Oompa Loompa looking spray tan. That's what you should do. For like
Just
the
right.
thumbnail, you're welcome. I am your marketing manager right now.
Right?
Imagine that. And then they click on it and you're like, just kidding, guys. I just ate carrots
No.
until I hated my life.
Yeah. Just use Jergens instead of like Saint Tropez. You know what I mean? Just use the like old school one that makes you
Yeah.
orange. Could happen. Could happen. Okay, I'm going to end with one trend that we're going to be seeing a lot. And I've seen it all over TikTok and I've almost done it, but I know it hurts my calves. Ballet flats. Are you hopping on the ballet flats trend?
I think they're cute. Coming from a girl that has very large feet for her height, I like it because it minimizes my feet. So I used to wear
Mm.
ballet flats when I was younger because they were the only like kid appropriate shoe. In like I graduated from kid shoe sizes, and I just remember I only could wear ballet flats because the sneakers were dorky. Everything was dorky, and they weren't like kid
Yeah.
friendly. So I have a little PTSD from that, and it makes me feel like
Yeah.
I have to hide my feet. But I actually think they could be cute, like universally with your outfits.
True.
What do you think?
I'm kind of in that, like, I remember ballet flats. I love them. Just they were so cute and little dainty and little summer dress and jeans. But then when I heard they were coming back, I was thinking like 2010 ballet flats. And I'm like, don't you bring those around me. But how they've been dressed now, the cute ones, I'm like, I might dabble, but only for like short walks. They're kind of like Uggs. If you walk
Yeah.
long distances in those, like downtown, your calves will get your tight, your feet. So they're like I'm going out for a cute brunch, maybe walk a couple steps. But if I'm
Also, they're
doing a hot girl
stinky.
walk, True. Oh, I did not even remember that. Yeah, they smell. Not,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? That's a trend not to spend a lot of money on. Like I was popping in because my little hack, I pop into Holt Renfrew every few months because their sales rack is always the best, like 70% off Prada kind of thing, just because it's last season. I'm like, I don't need the new Prada, my God. But you can get like crazy deals. So I was just wondering. And once again, I was in the little Prada section and they had the cutest ballet flats, these little red ones. I was like, oh my God, these are adorable. But I'm like, that's a dumb purchase. And like, I didn't even think about the smell. You wear them for like 2 months, you spend $1,000 on things that stink. You probably can't wash them.
No,
True,
it's like
not worth the
Tom's.
money. Not worth,
Tom's made your feet
oh my
stinky.
God.
Uh-huh.
And you could wear the little ballet
Oh,
socks with
still
it, but
didn't
still,
hide
it
the
doesn't
stench.
help. It doesn't help. True.
Newsflash, girls also have smelly feet, just like guys.
True.
Normalize it.
But you had, but our smell's better because we're girls and we're cute.
Obviously, it is smells of flowers, but
Yeah, perfection. It smells, but it smells of perfection.
yeah, maybe dead flowers, but
True, flowers nonetheless. Rotten,
yeah.
yeah, moldy,
Mm-hmm.
but flowers.
I got flowers sent to me, and it was really sweet. It was from Honor Active, and I
Aw.
think they thought my birthday was this week because like this guy calls me up and he's like, "I have flowers for you," and I'm like, "Okay," and I like get the flowers and I'm like, "Oh, these are beautiful," and he's like, "You like?" I'm like, "I love, thank you,"
Yeah.
and I read the thing and it's like, "Happy birthday," and I totally forgot I needed to tell Honor Active like, "Hey guys, thank you so much. This is not my birthday." It was on a Friday, and like my contact at Honor, I knew she was off, so I was like, "Oh, I'll
Yeah.
just talk to her on Monday." So I need to
Yeah.
message her. But sweet
Fine.
thought, but the flowers smelled so bad. I don't know
Oh
why.
no.
There was at first I thought it was a certain leaf that was
Yeah.
decor, so I threw all the leaves out and I tossed them, and I kept the flower. But like I would sit at my table where I prop them, and they were so pretty, but it would smell like mildew. It smelled like mold. And I'm thinking
Oh
we've had all these
no.
storms. I'm like, we're having a ton of like random patches being fixed. I'm like, oh no, our house is moldy. And then I'm like, oh God, what is that? It's the flowers. So I just tossed
No.
them because I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know what happened to them. They were so like
Yeah.
just
Who
stanky.
knows? Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Like they
I
maybe they
cackle.
mixed up. Like this is what I'm thinking. My birthday is February 5th,
Yeah.
0205. Maybe they thought 0502.
100%. That just the numbers add up too perfectly. The
Yeah,
numbers
yeah.
add up too perfectly.
Very
But
sweet.
that's
I will never
funny.
say no. I was cackling because I'm like, man, this isn't even close to my birthday.
It's one of those funny things that like you appreciate that someone cares about you so much to get you saved for your birthday, but they appreciate you so little that they don't know your actual birthday. You know what I mean? It's one of those funny things that you care so much, but yet so little.
Yeah,
And
totally.
it obviously was just a screw up. I'm not saying they don't care, but it's just like that's why it's a funny feeling. You're like, I'm both offended and flattered.
Totally. Yeah. So it was funny. I'll accept flowers any day. But
And
those
too
ones, and
funny.
when the man was like, happy birthday, I'm like, what? No, it's not even my half birthday.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, speaking of giving and receiving, let's top off the episode with a question from the audience. Once again, you can hit us up on Instagram. You can leave a confession session, or if you have a question about the gym or life that you want us answered, we'll be happy to. Sorry about my runny nose, allergies. That should be the question, how to deal with allergies. Don't you just complain. Is sustainable cutting for spring that leads into summer. So right now, it's just about summertime. So you're just ending off. Some people might be starting their summer shred. They might just be transitioning season. Do you have any tips from spring to summer?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love a good cut. This is my jam. Sustainable wise, also my jam because I hate extremes. And this year I'm doing my cut a little bit more balanced. What I did was I tracked my macros, basically set it up for a slight deficit. And that's, it doesn't have to be crazy. It's like, I think I removed 300 calories. That's not even a full meal. So more like snacking and stuff. But set it for a deficit. upped my protein as well because I'm still lifting. And then what I did to make it more sustainable was like I would track it every other day to the point where I would get quite comfortable with like knowing what portions I was needing, if I was lacking protein or carbs. And then now I just do it once a week. That way I'm not so controlled and confined by like my fitness pal. And then just build out a killer workout plan, you know, get something that makes you excited, that makes you want to show up for the gym and stay consistent. Don't read into the weight on the scale. Like, don't think that your success is tied up to that. And also don't weigh yourself every day. Don't weigh yourself every week if that is detrimental to you. I did mine. I literally just weighed myself for the first time. It's been 4 weeks. So it's like, you just kind of take your progress pics as you go and you'll be good to go.
I like that. I don't really have necessarily a sustainable cutting tip, but I'll just have like sustainable workout tip from spring to summer. And I think it's just mix it up. You're probably getting a little stale, done the same things as January, February, March. The sun, like you're going to be so many more ideas of things you want to do. Friends are going to ask you to start doing stuff. You might feel guilty. You're like, oh, I have these plans. I want to stay committed. I'm like, combine it. When your friends like, oh, let's meet up, being like, hey, let's go do something active, like fit it in, like enjoy the fun that is summer, that you can go for a walk, that you can go swimming, that you can learn a new skill, you can do an outdoor yoga class, you can just like, it's so easy to work out for cheap in the summer. And like, instead of just being like so dialed into that routine and you feel like guilty or bored of it because you've been doing it for so much, if that's the case, just switch it to outdoor. As simple as that. And there's something about working outdoors that just feels so like fun versus trapped in a gym. And that's my little tip.
Love it. All right. Well, with that being said, guys, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube, Instagram, leave us a review, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.